Hi everyone, it's your girl Joanna Christine, and for today's video, we're gonna be talking about the software-defined networking concept. So let's start. Before I proceed, let me just power this on. Okay. Welcome to the Software-Defined Networking Concepts Practice Lab. In this module, we will be provided with instructions and devices needed to develop our hands-on skills. So, software-defined networking or SDN decouples the control plane from the data plane, providing a more flexible and programmable infrastructure. Hold on. There we go. This is particularly useful as a network grows in size and complexity, and SDN, a centralized controller, manages and directs network traffic flows over the data plane. This separation of control and data and data plane. The separation of control and data planes facilitates automation, agility, and scalability in network configuration, making it easier to deploy and manage networks, optimize resource utilization, and respond efficiently to the changing business requirements. So in this module, we will explore the use of Ansible to deploy configuration changes and Git to manage code versioning. So these are our learning outcomes. We have exercise 1, utilize Ansible. Exercise 2, utilize Git. So after completing this module, we should be able to install Ansible, deploy an Ansible playbook, install and utilize Git, manage a version change in Git. So our exam objectives, we have the following exam objectives covered in this module. We have 1.8, summarize involving evolving use case for modern network environments. So our lab duration will take it will take this us an approximately an hour to complete this module. I mean the lab. Sorry guys, I'm not feeling well. This is our lab topology. So we have exercise 1. Utilize Ansible. Ansible is an open source agentless automation tool used for configuration management, application deployment, and task automation. It employs a declarative language to describe system configuration and orchestrates tasks across multiple nodes, making it efficient for deploying and managing infrastructure. So in this exercise, we will install, configure, and deploy an Ansible playbook. So after completing this exercise, we should be able to install Ansible and deploy an Ansible playbook. So our device, so let's just proceed to task 1, install Ansible. So Alma Linux is a Linux distribution that is compatible with Red Hat Enterprise Linux or RHEL. The DNF package manages use for installing software. So in this task, we will install Ansible on ACIALMA. So this is it. So on the activities toolbar, select terminal. Oh my gosh, no. Connect to first ACI Alma. And on the activities, I don't know. This one. This is terminal. Okay, so in the terminal window, type the following. We have since I'm um can't paste it. It's not okay, anyways. Just sudo dnf install Apple release y, then enter, and then okay, so we have noted the Apple release package is the extra packages of Enterprise Linux. Our Linux Apple is repository configuration package. It provides additional software package such as Ansible that are not included in the default repositories of Red Hat Enterprise Linux or RHEL, and it's derivatives such as Alma Linux, I'm sorry. So we have our password. Okay. So in the terminal window, so ito na yung lumabas. Okay. So in the terminal window, type sudo. Okay, sudo dnf install. Well, okay, it's downloading as you guys can see. It has like percentage going on. Okay. I'm oops, still downloading, my bad. Still installing things, okay. Okay. Since it's done, we can type this. Have Ansible. Mm. pf sensible.core. Oops, mali. Again. Ansible Galaxy. pf sensible. I keep on typing war. My bad. Okay. There you go. One nine two 0.168.0.5. So note, when logging into a remote server via SSH for the first time, the SSH client will prompt you to accept the server's fingerprint. This fingerprint is a cryptographic identifier used to verify the server's authenticity, and by accepting it, you establish a trust relationship with the server, ensuring that the future connections are secure and not subject to on-path attacks. In the terminal window, type 0. So, okay, so it's done. So load the device, let's leave it. So we have task number 2, deploy an Ansible playbook. So an Ansible playbook defines tasks that may be performed on a remote host. Playbooks are often in a YAML file format and include sets of tasks that describes the desired state of a system. They use Ansible modules to perform tasks such as configuring servers, deploying applications, and managing infrastructure, providing a structured and reusable way to automate complex tasks in infrastructure and application deployment. So in this task, we will deploy an Ansible playbook. So connect to this one. connect, and then type it. It's just so lag, I guess. Okay. Okay. So command shell. I can't. Oh my god, I can't find. Okay. There are resolve that. Again. Ah, okay. Observe that the name server 192.168.255.13 is listed as the pfSense DNS server in the resolve conf file. The Ansible playbook that will deploy will modify the prescribed machine name server. So connect to the here one the activities tool. Hold on. Where is it? The activities tool. I don't even know where is it. There. Activities toolbar, select files. In the files window, double click on the module 7. And in the module 7 folder, double click on the host. This one. So in the host YML file, also known as inventory file, specifies the list of hosts or remote servers that Ansible will manage. In this case, it is only the pfSense machine 192.168.0.5. This file is essential in orchestrating tasks across multiple hosts and enables dynamic scaling and automation in IT infrastructure management. So close the text editor. So in the module 7 folder, click on the pfSense. So with the pfSense update DNS server.yml file describes the changes that should be implemented. In this case, the DNS server's IP address will modify. So close again. So close the file window. So in the terminal window, type 1. So cd module underscore 7. And then 1s. Is it 1s or is? ls? Oh, the first one was ls. Okay. So type the following. Ansible playbook that I hosts.yml pfSense underscore update underscore DNS underscore. There you go. So this command executes an Ansible playbook named pfSense underscore update underscore DNS underscore server.yml on the host defined in the inventory file hosts.yml to configure DNS servers on ACIPFSense. In an enterprise environment, this playbook could streamline and automate an administrator's approach to, to managing DNS configuration across many hosts. The play recap of the playbook confirms that the playbook was executed and the change was made. So close the terminal window and connect to this one, and then in here we have to say cat etc resolve conf. Okay, did he say close it? Just says enter, right? Okay, let's proceed to the next one. Hold on, guys. So, hi. So, exercise 2. Utilize Git. Git is a version control system. It is used to track changes in source code. Usually during software development, Git enables multiple developers to collaborate on a project using the same code backbone while providing a history of changes, branches for parallel development. Excuse me, and the ability to merge code seamlessly. So in this exercise, we will install and use Git. So after completing this exercise, we should be able to install and utilize Git, manage a version change in Git. So task 1, install and utilize Git. So to install the Git on Alma Linux, you can use the DNF package manager. Once installed in this task, we will use Git to manage a change in the file. So pfSense update DNS server.yml file. So connect to um, let me just I don't know what just happened, but let's just refresh. Why does it have? Okay, so I just typed the password, the PASSW0RD. Okay, so we have to open terminal and then we have to type sudo install git. And then this one, the password. Okay, so let's just type Y. So in the terminal window, type the following. We have cd module 7 and press enter. You have to type git init. Okay, so the git init command is used to initialize a new git repository within a directory. It sets up the necessary data structures and configuration files, allowing version control to be applied directly to the files within the directory. So step 7, in the terminal window, type the following. Have git config global username admin. Okay, so this command sets the global git configuration to associates the specified username ACI or ACI admin with the commits made across all repositories of on the system. So in the terminal window, type the following. We have git config global solidity email at domain.com. And then this command sets the global Git configuration to associate the specified email address with commits made across all the repository. Type git add pfSense update DNS server.yml. Press enter. So this command sets a specified file for inclusion in the next git commit, marking it as ready for tracking changes. So we have git status. Okay. So in the terminal window, type the following. So we have git commit m initial commit add add update DNS server.yml playbook. Then press enter. So this command records the stage changes in the Git repository along with the descriptive message summarizing the change made in the commit. So in the terminal, type the following. We have git log. So press enter. So the git log command display a chronological history of commits in the Git repository, including information such as commit hash, author, date, and commit messages. Observe the output to discover the latest commit that occurred on the master branch of the Git repository. Git branches are parallel lines of development within the Git repository, allowing for independent work on different code features, enabling concurrent development. So in the terminal window, you have the following: rm f sense update dns server dot okay, again rm. I keep typing DND. Okay, again. Okay. So in this command deletes the pfSense update DNS server.yml in the file in the directory. The file is no longer required as it is being tracked in the Git repository. Type ls and then press enter. So give the device their current state, and then task 2, manage a version change on Git. So to manage a version change on Git, the code may be checked out and modified after necessary changes are complete. The code may be committed using the git commit command and then merge back into the main database code base. In this task, we will check out, modify, and commit a code change. Step 1, ensure you're connected to this one. I am. So in the terminal, type git check out pf dns server. This command retrieves the pfSense update DNS server YML file from the repository and stages it for changes to be made. So in the terminal window, type the following. Okay, so in the terminal window, type the following. Nano sense update. Okay. So Nano is a simple and user-friendly command line text editor for Unix-like system, offering basic text editing functionality with a straightforward interface. So in the Nano text editor, remove the existing entry in the net field and type the following. What? This one, right? One nine two point one six eight point two five five. So Control X. In the Nano text editor, press enter. Okay. So step 12, we have to close the terminal window. So well done, deserve this. So well done, we have completed the software-defined networking components practice lab. So in this module, explore practical application of Ansible for automated configuration changes and Git for efficient code versioning. It includes installing Ansible, utilizing a third-party Ansible module, establishing SSH connections, deploying an Ansible playbook, and using Git operations to track changes to a file. So in summary, we have completed the two exercises. So we have completed exercise 1, utilize Ansible, and then exercise 2, utilize Git. So we should now be able to install Ansible, deploy an Ansible playbook, install and utilize Git, manage a version change in Git. So again, this is Joanna, your girl, and I'll see you in the next videos. Adios.